At the Last Supper, the whole movement of the sacramental life was set in motion. We depend on the apostolic succession for its validity. Therefore, the project of the Son of God was to have not merely an agglomeration of human beings adoring, but the prolongation of Calvary and its effects until the end of time. There is therefore a fundamental difference between our Catholic faith and practice and what has come out of us, the Reformation. The story of St. Richard Gwynne is interesting in that context. He was a teacher and he was a Catholic. He was tempted at one point to conform exteriorly, so as to avoid penalties, and he went to communion in the Reformed Church. All the way home, great ravens came and pecked at the part of his stomach that contained the invalid host, and he understood that he was not to do it again. Eventually, he was hanged, drawn, and quartered. He would have had the same Welsh accent as ourselves, and he was a good poet. His work has survived. The whole, eventually, of Welsh culture was lost to the Catholic Church, essentially because the priesthood was lost. They couldn't get back that far. In some parts of England, notably the Catholic North, there was a strong recusant movement, and things did carry on in secret. But when the whole nation loses the real presence, it is a tragedy that makes the angels weep, for they are involved in our worship, and they know the difference between the presence and just the word. My best friend in school and college days was the son of the vicar of Cardiff, and he was ordained like his father. I did witness one of his celebrations. He preached well, but despite the high church approach, I knew that he was not a priest. It isn't the same. The tragedy is that we who have the fullness do not always use it well, and that is something we need to look at on this Holy Thursday. Remembering the way that Judas went out after Holy Communion without thanksgiving. Without thanksgiving either for being ordained priest and bishop. There is a verse in the context of Judas which is worth remembering. He did ask, "What use this waste?" And the Lord answered, "The poor you always have with you. Me you do not always have with you." And Catholic authors have commented on that it also has a sense in the Eucharistic context, that we have the Lord in a very special way in the minutes after receiving him, and he demands our total attention at that point. Liturgy itself must not take away from that must sustain it. Praise God, in the Chrism Mass in the cathedral last night, there was no applause. Communion was received at the altar rails, people were kneeling, and there was great interiority and great union among the very large corpus of priests. That pleases heaven, and the whole court of heaven that adores with us, as it reproduces something of the Last Supper, and as it lets us renew our engagement to what we have undertaken. Sees also the example of many who have been for many years faithful to the daily office, the daily duties, and the holy sacrifice. We recall how the Lord, through St. Margaret Mary Alacoque, made it known that he was pleased with the reparatory holy hour on a Thursday night. He was consoled in the garden when he saw these holy hours in the centuries ahead, as he was distraught by the abuse of grace that he could foresee. We need to have time just to be at the foot of the altar, like the angels who surround us, and let the Lord be truly Lord. For in our time, he is finding it difficult to get through to his creatures, even his consecrated, for a form of technological activism is crowding out the still, small voice.